for my renormalized field operator 5 prime, I define a function of time as I integral d cubed x 5 prime g naught f minus f d naught 5 prime. years that way. And I go there 1 million light years that way, and I'm prepared with this operator which, if I hit it with the vacuum, would make a single particle state with distribution F2.
So better or worse parts. Yes, you have less integrated and more integrated experiences. You make and assume less integrated and more integrated choices. You create less integrated and more integrated realities, but they are all equal. You may find that you prefer integrated reality. It is more effortless. It is more reinforcing. It is more supportive. It is plain and simply more fun. But it is no better than anything else. I remind you that anything that we share, we do not present as better than what you are doing. You are flawlessly and perfectly creating yourself right now. But you are all within the accelerated phase of your personal transformation. So you are attracting knowledge. You are attracting resources. I am functioning as one of those resources, as one of those reflections of knowledge. I will not say source of knowledge, because you contain it all. I cannot give you anything you do not already have. And were I to hand you something you didn't have, you wouldn't make sense of it. So if you are understanding anything I say, that is the reinforcement that you already contain. You already contain everything you need to continue to be who you prefer to be, with integrity, to create the life that you desire with integrity. You have enough power to create your reality completely according to preference, without harming yourself or anyone else. That is the degree of the power that you have. And we have as well. In our society, we choose to express this as, perhaps you can say, the common choice. Not that we take it for granted, or we constantly revel in the wonders of creation, but that is simply how we function without, as you say, thought. It is our foundation. But it is also available as your foundation, or you would not have attracted it. I am simply, again, a reflection of your timing, a reflection of the knowledge that you are now willing to look at within yourself. To simply step from the acceleration of the awareness of your power to the beingness, to the final phase of transformation of who you prefer to be. All you need to do is decide who you prefer to be, trust that you are already that person, and begin acting that way. Therefore, allow me to thank you for your willingness to allow me to share in your exploration. I understand from my perspective that you exist within me. It works across the board. So as I discover through anything that you share with me, anything, no matter how large or minute, that I had not been aware of before, that allows me to know that much more of myself. I get something out of this as well. You have much to offer, not only yourselves, but each other. In fact, you all have everything you need to make such an offering. Therefore, I respect and am honored by your choice, in that it includes me. If only for this interaction, all well and good. I get enough in every moment from whoever I interact with in any given moment. I understand that I always have what I need when I need it. So if something is not available, I know I don't need it. And I do not look for it. I simply ground myself to what is available and get off the fence and move. Therefore, I know this works. But I do not insist that you believe me, because I cannot prove it to you other than allowing you to prove it to yourself by allowing you to be aware of it. But only because you are ready. Only because it is your timing. As you individually expand, as you societally expand, You will become aware not only of more of yourself, not only more of your planet, not only more of your history, but more of what you call the multiverse or universe as well. And this is why the awareness of what you call extraterrestrial consciousness is now becoming more accelerated in your society. And it shall continue to accelerate. You will hear more and more about the various societies that are in contact with your society, but we do not assume that we are better than you. We know you are equal to us. We know you are masters at acting like we are better, but we do not buy into that ourselves. We know you are our equal. You will generally hear people refer to us through the beliefs that they choose to express, which still may be just a little bit disempowered. So therefore we'll hear all types of things about us. But the bottom line is we are simply beings, such as yourself, who respect each other and respect you so greatly that we honor your choices, we honor your sovereignty. We will only interact with you to the degree that you agree to interact with us. Now, many of you will express that agreement unconsciously, but you can use the feedback of the physical occurrences in your relationship to understand what your agreements and decisions and choices are. One thing I will tell you is this. Because we view you as equals, we do not believe you are drowning and need saving. We do not believe in beaming you up. We honor your choices and we honor the courage in which you create, many times, some of the negative aspects of your reality. We do not choose to create those negative aspects in ours, but can be aware of them through you. So this does us service for the more awareness, the more expansion, the more we know of ourselves, and the more we may understand what we continue to not choose to do. But you as a society are beginning to accelerate in a positive way. And what you are seeing are the remnants of the negativity kicking up in a way to show you, in no uncertain terms, the futility of the negativity. It will never allow you to advance yourselves or your society to make negative choices in terms of coexisting. But no matter what choice you make, you will always benefit, for you will always have a discrete, distinct, valid experience, and you will incorporate that into your wholeness. There is nothing any worse about negative choices, but less integrated choices.
You become, but in such a way that instead of having to lie awake nights, controlling everything, you do it beautifully by trusting the job to everyone else. And they carry it on for you. So you can go to sleep at night, trust your nervous system to wake you up in the morning. You can even tell it, I want to wake up at 6 o'clock. And it'll wake you up just like an alarm clock. This seems a sort of paradox to say this, but the principle of unity, of coming to a sense of oneness with the whole of the rest of the universe, is not to try to obtain power over the rest of the universe. That will only disturb it and antagonize it and make it seem less one with you than ever. The way to become one with the universe is to trust it as another, as you would another, and say, let's see what you want. But in doing that, you see, in saying that to everything else that you have been taught to think is not you, you are also saying it to yourself. Because finally, as I pointed out, you do not know where your decisions are. They pop up like hiccups. And when you make a decision, people have a great deal of anxiety about making a decision. There's this guy who, farmer, who ordered a help man to come in. And found he was an extraordinarily efficient worker, because the first day he put him on sawing logs. And he sawed more logs than anybody had ever sawed. It was fantastic. But they were all done in one day. So the next day he put him on to mending fences. And there were all kinds of broken fences around the farm. In one day he had the whole thing done. What am I going to do with this guy? So he took him down into a basin and said, look, here are all the potatoes that come into this harvest. And I want you to sort them into 3 groups. Those that we sell, those that we use for seeding, those that we throw away. So he left it at that. At the end of the day, the laborer came back and said, well, that's enough, mister. I quit. He said, you can't quit. I've never had such an excellent worker. I'll raise your salary. I'll do anything to keep you around. I said, it's all right mending fences and chopping wood, but this potato business is decision after decision after decision after decision. So when we decide, we're always worrying, did I think this over long enough? Did I take enough data into consideration? And if you think it through, you find you never could take enough data into consideration. The data for a decision in any given situation is infinite. So what you do is, you go through the motions of thinking out what you will do about this. And then when the time comes to act, you make a snap judgment. I mean, I'm speaking a little extremely, making some fun of it and so on, because after all, we do occasionally get the vague outlines of things and make a right decision on rational grounds. But we fortunately forget the variables that could have interfered with this coming out right. It's amazing how often it works. But warriors are people who think of all the variables beyond their control and what might happen. So then when you make a decision, and it works out all right, I think very little of it has much to do with your conscious intent and control. But somehow or other, you are able to decide and control things more harmoniously if you delegate authority. That's why very great businessmen are those who can delegate authority. Trust others to work for them. Because those are people developing businesses on the same basic structure that is fundamental to a living organism. Delegation of authority. It loves and nourishes all things, but does not lord it over them. And you see, then, what is happening is this. The more you let go of it and trust it, as if it were quite other than you, the more you realize the inseparable identity of self and other. To go back, if you try to find the identity of self and other by subjecting other to self, no go. If, on the other hand, you find it through giving self, that is control, over to other, and trusting that, you may make a mistake. You may make a bad gamble. But in the long run, you're acting on a principle which has the backing of evolution. This is the way biological evolution goes on. Constant delegation of authority. That's why, obviously, the democracy is superior to the monarchy. It was de Tocqueville who said that democracy is always right, but for the wrong reasons. Because there is operating in a democracy the principle that Buckminster Fuller calls synergy. And synergy is the intelligence of a highly complex system, the nature of which is always unknown to the individual members. Because that goes back again to this point, that we're always entering a new environment